started with an unlikely reconciliation for the first time since the 2020 election. Trump was meeting face-to-face with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. The two have had a thorny relationship ever since Trump falsely accused Kemp's state of voter fraud, and Trump has repeatedly blasted Kemp for not doing enough to overturn the 2020 election results. We're not doing that at all. But on Friday, the two seem to be making some amends during a briefing on Georgia's Helene damage. Joining me now is the former lieutenant governor for Georgia, Jeff Duncan. He's supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. He's also a CNN political commentator. Jeff, good to see you as always. I mean, what did you make of Trump and Kemp back together again?
Well, I think it's important to note that Brian Kemp really set the tone and tenor for those meetings yesterday. I mean, he was all business, 100% laser focused on the hurricane relief efforts, and really, I believe, kept Donald Trump in check. When Donald Trump had his prepared remarks, they were inside the rails, and then as soon as Donald Trump wanted to take on the media questions and start politicizing everything, Brian Kemp exited the stage. I thought that sent a pretty good message where Brian Kemp's head's at.
And Jeff, I mean, can you weigh in on how Trump has just been lying about the disaster response across the Southeast? He was insisting that Kemp was not in touch with President Biden when Kemp was on camera saying that he was talking to President Biden. And there's all of this talk of FEMA money going to migrants instead of to hurricane relief. That is not the case. Those are separate funding streams and so on. I mean, it's been a lot. What's been your response to all of it?
The lies are one of the biggest reasons why I'm a Republican, a lifelong Republican supporting Vice President Harris as a Democrat. The lies are dangerous. They're reckless. They cause harm. In this particular instance, I mean, does any of these lies actually help people get closer and quicker benefits? No, they don't. I mean, FEMA's having to spend resources reprogramming their websites and social media to debunk some of these messages. But this is Donald Trump's game, whether it's an election, a hurricane, or a criminal case, you name it, it's always lies. And to me, that's the shallowness of this human. And it's not only not right, it's simply un-American, and we need to hold him accountable for it. Look, this country does an extremely good job of dealing with disasters. Democrat, Republican, I don't care who's in the White House. We do an incredibly good job of wrapping our hands around disasters, and we're doing that now. I think the biggest kind of litmus test is how are these governors, how are they reacting to the federal government's response? And they're almost verbatim saying the same thing. The federal government is giving us everything we're asking for and more. And to me, that's the ultimate gauge of where we go with this. But look, the only way we stop Donald Trump from lying is beat him in November.
Yeah, I mean, there's the situation in California when Trump was president. A former Trump senior director for resilience policy told Politico that Trump initially refused to approve disaster aid for California after the deadly wildfires there in 2018, and that Trump changed his mind after this official showed him voting results that indicated that Orange County, California, had a lot of Trump supporters there. I mean, it's amazing how he accuses others of doing what he has done.
That's the problem, right? Yeah. That we have inside the Republican Party. That is exactly. I mean, you cannot just be a good decision maker in your political life or in your leadership life and be a train wreck in every other part of your life. You just don't mix those two, or you don't leave them siloed. Donald Trump's rotten to the core, and our party is rotten to the core at this point. And so, look, I'm doing everything I can politically, but in this time, in this disaster area, the last thing we need to do is politicize any of this. I mean, there are families that are missing loved ones. There are families that don't know where their next meal is going to come from. There's families that don't know what tomorrow has in store for them. And Donald Trump is seized on the moment, like he always does, to politicize it. Look, if he wins this election, it is what it is. He wins it, and I'll be disappointed, but I'll still be an American, and I'll still go to work every day and try to do the best I can do.
Yeah, and a lot of Republicans like yourself are speaking out. But there are folks in the party who are still parroting Donald Trump and even going a lot further. I mean, speaking of conspiracy theories, I wanted to get your reaction, something that Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on social media. She was talking about the impact of Hurricane Idalia, and she said on Twitter, yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. I mean, this is some Looney Tunes stuff.
Well, it's par for the course for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her words always typically speak for themselves. And if somebody wants to believe that far right banter, go ahead. It's a lot like the folks inside the Republican Party that just feel like Donald Trump's the future and he's the perfect person for us. He's not. We'll have our day. It's probably going to come around November 6th or 7th when we realize Donald Trump got beat handily, and we move on as a party and try to find a new leader to stand up that can actually do something with a GOP 2.0.
Yeah, and Jeff, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, what does she mean by that? Like, how do they do it? Are we talking about space lasers here? I don't know, but all right. Jeff Duncan, great to see you as always. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, still ahead, our